back to my channel. So in today's video, I know it's a little bit of a different setup. I'm just currently like rearranging my room and trying to figure out like where my best setup is. But outside of that, today is going to be a girls chat video. I haven't done anything like this in particular. Like I've done life updates and stuff like that, but I've never done like a girls chat video. So I'm super excited to be filming it, and I'm actually going to be doing my makeup at the same time. So hopefully this will go really well, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. So if you guys want to keep on watching, please do. Also subscribe to my channel, which is that big red button down below. And without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so again, today's a girls chat video. I'm going to be doing my makeup and stuff in between, and I have a lot of like new products that I've never tried before, even like before this. So I'm kind of nervous like whether my makeup's actually going to come out pretty good, or you know, vice versa. But we're going to be chatting in between, so I may not be like talking about like the products and stuff per se, but all the products are going to be linked in the description box below. So if you guys are ever interested in anything that I've used, then it should be in the description box below. So I asked a couple of questions on Instagram, which if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at heyitscandicia. And I basically asked you guys what we wanted to talk about in this video. And a lot of people said that, you know, dating and relationships, as well as how to be a girl boss, are the two topics that we wanted to talk about. And some people sent in like specific questions, and you know, I'm definitely going to be answering that and talking that through. So let's see what we're first going to talk about. I think we should start with relationships because I feel like that's like a pretty juicy topic. Now with dating and relationships, I feel like nowadays, especially after talking to like a lot of girls and like a lot of my my followers and stuff, it's a scary world. I can't even lie. Like it's something that, you know, like it's kind of either a hit or miss. Like it's either really good or it's really bad. And personally for me, I have started to like talk to a few people, so I do have like personal experience as well. And I find that it's kind of hard these days to meet somebody like, you know, out here in these streets. A lot of people are online and they're using like online dating apps. Actually, I'm going to be facing this way because actually, how about I just move my mirror? Anyway, whatever. That was so like outside of it. Anyway, but yeah, like a lot of people are like online dating right now. And I think like that's great. I think like the plethora of different apps and stuff that you can use for online dating is great, and you can meet tons of new people all the time. And like I guess the availability is what's really, really attractive. And I mean, obviously like some dating apps I feel like are better than others. Like again, taking a lot of like comments from like a lot of like girls that I talked to and stuff, like I mean Tinder was kind of the thing that like really kind of started, I guess, that, or like Plenty of Fish, I guess. But Tinder is like, at least in my opinion as well, like it's not the app for me. I find like the people that I meet on the app and stuff as well, like they're great people, don't get me wrong, but they just want something very different from what I want. And you know, that becomes a little discouraging and a little confusing, but at the same time, basically like when it comes to like dating and stuff, like I feel like a lot of it has to, like, you have to tell, or you have to know what your deal breakers are. I feel like a lot of people, like, we waste our time talking to people that we know it's not going to work, due to like whatever your deal breaker is, or you know, like whatever the situation is. But sometimes we just stay in it because of, you know, like, oh, like they're being sweet, or oh, like they're being so nice, you know, whatever the case is. But then at the same time, it's like, who exactly are you hurting in that situation? And I feel like you're hurting both people. You're hurting yourself, and you're also hurting the other people, because at the end of the day, if you don't want this person, or you know for a fact it's not going to work, then why keep stringing them along? You know what I mean? But that's just kind of my take on it. But again, like going to like dating apps and stuff, like again, like I don't think, maybe Tinder is great for some people, but like it's not for me. Again, like I think like the type of people and the type of relationships that people are looking for on the app, for some people, it's just not something that works for me, which is fine, it's okay. Recently, like trying other apps and stuff, like I'm really liking other apps, and I find like they're a little bit more professional. The people on there are actually looking for serious relationships, so it's definitely something like more up my alley. Like I feel like, especially like when you go into dating again, like it's really important for you to know who you are and what you want. Again, like I find that even for myself too, like there's some questions that like I didn't even know how to answer, because I was just like, well, I've never explored this for myself, or I don't know where I stand on certain things, which are very important when you are going to involve somebody else in your life. And I feel like you gotta know the stuff before, again, like you include anybody into your life. So whether that be like the type of person that you are, again, your deal breakers, your morals, your values, your ethics, you know, like where you see your life going, you know, career wise, where you want to take things, whether you want a family, whether you don't want a family, you know, all those things are very top of the list. But also at the same time too, like understand that like when you're going through dating, whether you want a serious relationship or not, being respectful of the person's feelings, but also making sure that you have moved on from previous relationships or previous situationships or whatever the case is also very important as well. Because I feel like we think we're okay until we actually get to a point like where it becomes serious with somebody else, and you're just like, oh shoot, like what am I supposed to do now? Because like I'm still hung up on so and so, or you know, like I'm still feeling for so and so, or you know, like this person's still talking to me or still somewhat in my life. Like again, is that really fair to the other person? I don't think so. But also I don't think it's like fair to yourself either, which is also the other thing as well. So I think like finding out exactly who you are and taking that time to get to know yourself is very important. Now for me personally, like I won't even say like I fully know myself, because again, like I think getting to know myself is going to be a lifelong journey. But from what I know so far, like I've definitely like done certain amount of work like through therapy and also like self-reflection, journaling and stuff, journaling out my thoughts and feelings. Those things have definitely helped me to really define who I am and what I want out of life. And I think like that's definitely helped me become a better person, and also really realize like where my trauma lied and how that was going to affect me dating moving forward. And because of that, again, like not tooting my own horn, but again, like that, I realized how important that was, and I made sure that I worked on that, and I am still working on it. And that is still something that I take very, very seriously, because again, if I haven't dealt with certain feelings or certain traumas, or, you know, even childhood traumas and stuff, if we want to go that far, again, like going into a relationship, you have to kind of wonder like where exactly is that going to take your relationship. Are you going to hold the brakes because you've never dealt with, or because you have trust issues? Or are you not going to be able to move forward because you don't really fully understand the concept of love and unconditional love? Like those types of things are, again, very, very important, and I feel like those are things that you need to discover for yourself before, again, like adding somebody to the mix. But somebody did ask me this question, which I was just like, oh Lord, I don't know how to answer this, because A, I'm not a guy, but also at the same time, I've dealt with this personally. I think like a lot of women have. And the question was, why do men lie so much? And again, like I don't want to call like all men evil and like crazy and, you know, whatever the case is, because I don't think that's 100% accurate. But I feel like a lot of it has to do with the lack of vulnerability. I feel like men don't have that same emotional side as women. And that's not to say like that's a bad thing. Because, you know, again, like having that strong, logical, analytical, you know, side is also very, very important. But I feel like that's where the insecurities come in, and I feel like with insecurities comes an inability to tell the truth. I feel like a lot of the time men tend to lie about things because, again, they don't understand the concept of being vulnerable and what that looks like, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling for them. I think it's also for women as well. I don't think it's just men that deal with this. I think because, again, like we're talking about men, like obviously like we kind of have to go there. And again, like that doesn't take away from the fact how hurtful that is. You know, it's definitely hurtful. Wow, I'm like losing my voice already. It's definitely hurtful, it's definitely painful, and it's not something fun to deal with. And I mean, I know firsthand like what that feels like as well. And again, like I'm not trying to dismiss how much it hurts, but I think until men understand, or people in general understand what true vulnerability is, how it looks like, how it feels like, and also how to share that with somebody without limits, I feel like we're still going to be dealing with this on, like, a lot of us women are going to be dealing with this. And again, like, that's sad to say, but also at the same time, like, it really depends on the guy that you're talking to as well. Some men truly understand that, and then some men don't. But just to kind of pause here, I'm going to be using the Jackie Aina palette. And first off, it is so beautiful. Ah! But like, all these colors, I'm going to figure out what color, what kind of look I'm going to go for today. But I think I have a pretty good idea as to what I'm going to do. But yeah, so again, like going back to, you know, that question, I feel like it comes from a deeper place. I don't think men lie just because they want to be evil, or they want to be cruel, or they want to hurt people. I think because they're also hurting themselves and they don't understand that, I think that's when they tend to hurt the people around them. And again, I think it's from a lack of vulnerability. Maybe it's also a lack of maturity. But also at the same time, I think until they truly understand what that feels like for them, they will never really correct what they do. But that goes to tell you, like, when you are dating somebody, you know, making sure they have that safe place, you know, to be vulnerable and to trust you. Again, like, I'm not saying like all women don't do this, and like to do this is like a bulletproof, like how not for men not to lie to you, period. But I think like even as people, again, like we feel like more comfortable with telling the truth when we have somebody that is non-judgmental, somebody who really understands you, and also who doesn't judge you at the end of the day. So I feel like that's part of the reason. But again, like I think like because some men are not truly attached to their feelings, or they don't truly dive into their feelings. Again, they don't understand that concept, and I think that's why they tend to lie. But another question, which is so funny, basically the person asks, you know, when the person that you're seeing on a grown sense, let's put it that way, doesn't call you back the next day, how do you handle that? And also, how do you get them to call you back? Which I find girl, thank you for asking. Like, that takes some boldness, that takes some confidence to ask that, which I appreciate you, sis. But at the same time, like, You tell me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm actually kidding. Like, I feel like, again, like, it really depends as to what type of connection you guys have. Is it, like, more than just that? Is it, you know, like, have you guys built a friendship? Like, are you guys comfortable with each other? Did it go well? All those things kind of take into place. You know, why somebody may not call you back. Or, again, maybe the type of person that you were dealing with is just that type of person. Like, they just want to do it with whoever and be done with it by the end of it. Which, again, to each his own. Not here to judge. Does it feel good? Absolutely not. But I think you also have to be open about what your idea of what type of relationship you guys have, and at least discuss that. Because again, if you guys aren't going to be like, if you want to do it consistently with that one person, then I feel like you need to verbally say that. And some people may be cool with it, and then some people may not be, but at least you said it though. You know what I mean, sis? Like, at least you said it, at least you tried. But again, like, there are some people in this world who are like, they're just that type of person, which I think at the end of the day, nobody deserves to be treated like that. Everybody deserves to be treated with respect, but at the same time, verbally say what you want out of that. And again, if that's not going to rock with the other person, then you keep it moving. If it is, then all power to you. Then I feel like, again, like, you guys are adults, you guys you know, can do what needs to be done. But yeah, like, again, like, thank you for that question. That was actually kind of fun. But I also think, like, kind of segueing into, like, another topic here, when it comes to dating and stuff, you really ought to be confident as to what you bring to the table, and don't let anybody tell you different. I mean, like, there's a difference between confidence and being cocky, but confidence is, like, when, like, again, like, you know who you are, you know what you bring to the table, and you know what you can offer the next person to a T. And there's no wavering on that. You know what I mean? And I think, like, confidence is very attractive. It's very, you know, I think it's also needed, especially, like, when you meet new people, because some people are so shy to say, like, what they are or who they are, and again, like, what they require of a relationship. But I think, again, like, if you say what you need to say from the get-go, then nobody can confuse where something's going. You know what I mean? So again, like, being confident, but then confidence comes from, again, like, knowing who you are. If you know you attractive, then sis, it is what it is. Like, I mean, like, you the bomb. Like, you gotta let him know. And again, like, not in a cocky way, but again, like, you know that you're a beautiful woman. Like, don't wait for a man to have to tell you that. Like, you are a beautiful woman. You are confident, you are smart, you are everything and more. And if one person does not recognize that or doesn't want to appreciate that, then sis, move on, because again, like, you deserve everything. You deserve somebody who will treat you well, and you deserve somebody who will love you well. And if that's the case, then again, you gotta find that. But I think also too, like, love finds you when you're not trying to find love. I think, like, that is a very, very true statement. And again, like, being on the dating apps and stuff is fun, but again, you gotta be open and honest with what you want, and keep it moving if somebody is not willing to treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. I'm not even gonna say, like, you know, otherwise, because again, you gotta be confident as to what you bring to the table. And again, if a man is not willing to meet you halfway, or if a girl isn't meeting you halfway, if there's a guy watching this, then again, like, I think at that point you have every right to say what you need to say and move on. It's simply it. But going into, like, from confidence, like, again, like, when it comes to being a girl boss, I think that very much goes into that as well, because again, being a girl boss, you have to have a lot of guts. You have to have a lot of confidence as well, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to tell you no. There's going to be a lot of people who tell you you can't do something, or they're not going to rock with you because of X, Y, and Z, or because you're direct competition with them, or whatever the case is. But again, you got to know what you bring to the table, and you got to know that you can bring it differently than anybody else. Just because, for example, let's just say you want to start a clothing company, let's just say. But you see Susan over there doing it, Sis over there doing that, Natalia over here, you know, doing the same thing. Well, don't be discouraged. Like, I would say still give it a go, because nobody's going to bring what you can to the table than you. Like, you know exactly what you need to do. And yeah, like, we're all, like, some people are doing the same things, but again, like, that doesn't mean that you can't do it either. And I also believe, like, I have, like, an abundance mentality in the sense that when you start something, as long as it's something aligned with what you truly are meant to do in life, it's going to work out for you. I believe that, again, like, nobody can do it better than you, and what you need to bring to the table is what you can bring to the table. Nobody else will be able to do that, and because of that, you should just go for it. I think a lot of the time, like, we put a lot of fear behind, you know, starting a company or being a girl boss, because we're scared of people's opinions. We're scared of, you know, failing. We're scared of starting over, which is okay. Like, all those things are scary. But at the end of the day, like, again, like, nobody, you don't know until you try. But also, nobody can bring something to the market in the way that you can, because they're not you. So I think if you've done enough research, you truly believe, and you're confident in yourself, that I don't see why you can't start that business, or you can't start, you know, marketing yourself, or you can't start a YouTube channel, or you can't, you know, start doing eyelash extensions and stuff. Like, again, just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean that you can't do it either. Also, I think another thing is that you have to dream big. I think, like, especially as women, we only believe what we can do because of what we see other people doing, which is great. But I also think, like, we have to be confident in who we are, and you have to dream big. Like, don't be afraid to dream for a multi-million-dollar business. Don't be afraid to dream that you're going to be the #1 person in your city. Don't be afraid that, you know, like, one day you are going to be that go-to person in that industry. Like, don't be afraid of that, because again, like, you have to dream big in order for you to reach big. And I am a firm believer of that. Like, you're not gonna know until you start, and once you start, you gotta keep going, and you gotta keep believing in yourself. And trust me, some days are harder than others. Like, some days, like, even for me, like, I've gotten to a point where I was just like, you know what, I just want to throw in the towel. Like, I'm done. I'm done doing it. I'm done trying to figure it out. You know, like, I don't want this life anymore. Like, I just want to go back to normal. And I just want to just do me. Like, I just simply want to be done. And that doesn't mean you're not allowed days to feel like that, because I think it's very humanistic to feel like that. But at the same time, the difference between somebody else and a girl boss is that a girl boss knows that, hey, today I may not be feeling that great, but tomorrow I'm going to pick it back up and I'm going to take this to the next level. Like, that's the difference. I feel like you gotta know, again, like, where you need your self-care, where you just need to take a break, and then also, like, when to come back full-fledged. but also like certain things to get started, which is like a question that I got from one of my followers. The resources and stuff that you need, especially if you're gonna start a business. I mean, first and foremost, I think you need Wi-Fi because everything's on the internet these days. I mean, like, I'm not even being like funny, but like some people actually like overlook that. But I'm like, you actually like, you need some sort of device. You need some sort of like, whether it be a laptop, an iPad, a phone, something that will help you propel your business forward. And even if you have a store or something like that, you're still going to need things like that. Obviously, like, you're going to need a name for your business, and you're going to need to register that name. Trademarking and stuff as well, I believe that's also important, especially if you come up with a name that may just possibly be taken in the future by somebody else. I think, you know, looking into trademarking and all that stuff is very, very, very important. But registering your business, I mean, I can only speak for Canada because that's where I live. I live in Canada. So basically, you can go on the government website and you can do a search as to whether like that name has already been used by another company or not. And if it has not been, and you get a certificate saying that it has not been taken, then you can simply go and start registering that name. I think there is a fee. I think it's like either $25 or $50 in order for you to register your business. But I think like that, again, that's very important because if you want your business to be full-fledged and you want it to be as professional as possible, you need to have that business number. And that business number, you're going to need a tax number. You're going to need all of that stuff. And that all dives back to having a business number. So you only get a business number, at least here in Canada, you only get a business number when you register. So again, looking into that and making sure that you register your company. The other thing that you're going to need, like, you're going to need a logo. You're going to need some sort of brand kit. And a brand kit, by that, I mean, like, you need to know specifically for, like, cohesion purposes. Like, you need to know, like, what your brand font is going to be. You're going to need to know, like, what your colors are. You know, like, typography, like, you know, like text on an image. Like, you need to know like what font you're going to use, or sets of fonts that you're going to use. Again, like the coloring, all of that stuff is very, very important. So taking that time to really dive into like, you know, what you truly like and color combos and stuff. There are tons of websites. I know even Shopify kind of helps you with that as well if need be. So totally looking into that as well. And then the other thing that you're going to need to, like, you're going to need to look into an e-commerce platform. So I've already mentioned that, you know, again, like Shopify is probably like one of the largest e-commerce platforms. So I would say they are a pretty good choice. They are my personal choice because I've used other systems before. I've used other platforms. I've used Squarespace. I've used WordPress. And I just find you just truly have to figure out, you know, like what product you want to sell and all that stuff. And for that, you need to do a lot of research as to like what product you want to do. If it's like clothing and stuff, you need to find like somebody who can print it. Or if you're going to print it out yourself, you need to invest in a machine that can print on t-shirts. You know, doing designs and all that stuff as well. So really depending as to what business you have, like this, you know, advice is going to be very, very different. But again, like you're going to have to do your research in terms of your products and stuff. You're going to have to do testers, make sure that it works. Even get a couple people in your circle, whether family or friends, to try out your products first before you launch, and get their feedback. Like see like where you may possibly be going wrong, or you know, like what's great about your product, and you know, again, like move on to that. You also need to know like why you started this business. I think a lot of people forget this part. So having some sort of mission statement, or having some sort of about page, or just making sure that you know, so then when you're introducing your business to other people, whether in person or online, you know exactly what messaging you want to go out there to the world. So again, like that part of it is like super important. The other thing that I would probably say that you need to have a calendar or some sort of agenda, because being very organized when you have a business is very important. Because if you're not organized, your business is not organized. Let's be real. Like if you are waking up at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon and then 10 o'clock the next day, and like you're just all over the place as to what you need to do, and you have customers hanging, you're not answering their emails because you forgot, like all of that stuff just is poor customer service, and it's poor branding, and it's poor work ethic. And I don't think as a business owner and as a girl boss you should be doing that. So definitely working on time management skills, also like having some sort of calendar, again, to keep yourself organized and keep yourself you know, on task is really important. And the last thing I want to say is that you're gonna need like a big heart, because a big heart and a strong stomach, because there's gonna be a lot of things that you're gonna face, that whether it's a bad review or whether it's financial mistakes or a bad employee, if you are having the fortunate opportunity of hiring more people in your business, or you know, bad friends that like expose you, like whatever the case is, like you need to have a very strong stomach, because this life is not easy. It's actually quite difficult, because it's not a matter of just like slapping a website together and just having it done. You really have to put a lot of thought and effort into it, and it's a lot to maintain a business and to keep it going. Also, back end work is a lot, like how to set up your taxes, and you know, doing your financial reports and making sure every quarter you're doing better than the last quarter. Like all these things come into place when you have a business. And again, it's not for the faint at heart. I feel like a lot of people like go into business thinking that like, oh, this is the easier route than your traditional 9 to 5. I beg to differ. It is absolutely not. I think it's actually like the complete opposite to that. And again, like it takes a lot of faith and a lot of heart to continue to grow and maintain a business. Alright guys, I am so sorry, but I did not realize that like my camera died while I was filming. So I was basically talking to nothing. But I'm just finishing up my makeup right now, because I was basically filming the other parts of it, again, not knowing that you guys weren't there. But yeah, so like essentially what I would say, like again, to be your girl boss, I think it really comes down to confidence, knowing what you bring to the table, and not letting anybody tell you different. You know, again, like with who you are and you know what you have to bring to the table. But especially when it comes to business and stuff, like again, like the things that I would really focus on, especially with getting started, is again, a name, making sure that you're registered. So again, it's official, sis. And then again, like having a brand kit, making sure you know what fonts, what colors, you know, all that stuff, messaging, all that fun stuff is taken care of. And then having some sort of e-commerce platform, so somewhere where you're going to be selling your products or selling your service. Again, personally for me, I love Shopify after trial and error. So that's the one that I highly recommend. That's the one that I use, and it's been great. Some sort of accounting software as well, which I don't think you guys heard that because my camera died. But some sort of accounting software, so then you know financially how you're doing, and in terms of your taxes and stuff for the year, you know exactly what you need to get back to the government. So for that, I recommend QuickBooks, because again, that's something that I personally use and I personally love. There's also FreshBooks, I believe. There's other companies, Xerox and other stuff that you can use as well, but that's just personally what I use. You need to have some sort of laptop, iPad, camera, so then you can always be coming up with content and keeping up with your business. A calendar, so then you're staying organized, you're getting stuff done, sis. We're being productive. That's all part of being a girl boss. Again, it's like making sure you're up to date, you're good to go, and having a big heart and a strong stomach, because again, not every day is going to be your greatest, not every day you're going to hit your sales goal, not every day you're going to get the greatest review, but just keeping it pushing, keeping it going, and knowing when you need a break, and that's not equivalent to quitting. It's just simply you needing to take time out for yourself, so then when you come back into the game, sis, you fresh and you ready to go. So guys, that is pretty much all what I have to say. Again, like, hopefully you guys enjoyed this girl chat. If you guys want another one or want different topics and stuff, just let me know and I could do that for you guys. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, a lot of the products that I've tried today on my skin, I'll probably just briefly show you guys the ones that you guys didn't get to see. So this is the Fenty Beauty. This is their beauty bronzer in Bahama Mama, or Beijing Gal, sorry. So this is the color that I used for my bronzer today. For my highlighter, absolutely new to this company, is Dominique Cosmetics, and this is their Skin Glass, and this is the color. It's really, really beautiful. As you guys can see, it's very, very pretty. And again, like for my eyeshadow today, I use the Jackie Aina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I specifically use these colors. So I used, let's hear, Lituation, I used Credit, I used Zam, and I also used a little bit of Pinker as well. But yeah, so again, I will have everything in the description box below as to what I used on my face. But again, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you guys did, again, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and also comment down below as to whether you guys want to see more videos like this or what topics you guys want to dive into next time, and I can totally do that for you guys. Alright guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys all in my next video. Bye guys.